All right, and we are back here on another Washington Football Gas podcast on a Victory Sunday. That is, what's going on, Rob?
Hey, it's a good day, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't care what nobody ever say about Kenneth in his life. He will. This guy will always have my back. He is a guy that if me and him was in a back alley, I would fight for this young man. Kenneth, yesterday on on CU Sunday, Kenneth said if the Washington football team was to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he would come on our show to apologize to me and Rob. Kenneth.
I'm sorry. What else is there to say? Like,
no.
the team that, first of all, happy Victory Sunday just for the NFC East crew here in general.
Yes.
Overall, great weekend for the two teams here. We know the Giants would have ruined it if they actually played this week. So,
Right.
but hey, it's a great performance turning over Tom early and just setting the tone, getting the crowd involved. Like, I think it just right from the jump, and then the late drive to seal it. Gibson went to work today and he did a great job. Anytime you can turn over Tom multiple times, you're in a great position to win. So, shout out to the Washington football team. Big win for you guys. But this is also why what I said on CU Sunday about the division is like Dallas couldn't go and lose today because you got all these divisional games late in the year and for the NFC East. Don't give life to anyone in the division. Like, this is a big win for Washington, but like, don't let it get to like one or two games because then the doubt starts to creep in about whether you can win the division. So happy for you guys though that you got the win today.
Yeah. And actually George's point, shout out to George. The way it looks for Chase Young, I think so, because that was really that was a non-contact injury. So the first thing I seen, I was like, this is not good. But yeah. And yeah, more likely I think that will.
I thought was an Achilles.
I hope not. I know they've been tossing ACL, but like you said, oh gosh, if it's Achilles, then it's that's 2023 potentially.
Yep.
For that potentially, but yeah, definitely. Kenneth, also once again, great win against Atlanta Falcons today. What you guys did, and like we said, you called it. Atlanta was the worst 4-4 team.
Jelani's probably blocked me on Twitter by now, so like, I don't know. But I was right about them. I was wrong about New England. Like, I thought that they were the worst 5-3 team. Well, I think they just beat the worst 5-3 team in the AFC today. So, not a lot of close games either, which was kind of disappointing. Like, we had a tie today. Like, it was a weird day of NFL action. But I wanted to pop in, say my apologies. I got to take care of the fiance because she's not feeling too well after one too many alcoholic beverages last night. So I'm going to make sure that I go and take care of her. But you guys have a great show. Congrats on your victory Sunday.
Congrats you as well, man. I appreciate you for coming on, man. Like I said, man, you're a hell of a guy for this. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Of course. Have a good one, guys.
Indeed. All right. Take care, Kenneth. But yeah, man. So Rob, I'm literally gonna predict. I want to always say we will lose every week because at this point, it's amazing. So, Rob, what's your takeaways in this victory today?
Taylor, he finally did what Taylor Heineken needed to do. He just taking the ball really. He had a couple of throws which we talked about on Friday. The most methodical. He's very want to go with the ball.
Yeah,
like for Tom Brady. In the sense that Tom Brady, and you just seen the way Tom Brady looked at the field, especially on that touchdown pass to Mike Evans.
Yes.
In the third or fourth quarter. The way he was
Yeah.
pointing out everybody, he was, hey, you there, Mike's this one right here. The whole
Mhm.
time seeing I think it was Cam Curl, the safety underneath, playing a little shallow. He knew he had the one-on-one with Mike Evans on Kendall Fuller, and he took advantage of that. Taylor Heineke kind of did the same thing. Obviously, he wasn't out there doing the finger pointing. He wasn't reading the defense like a
Yeah.
newspaper, but he was very methodical with where he wanted
Yeah.
to go. He was reading his progressions. You saw his eyes moving left to right
Yeah.
throughout the game when this offensive line, and shout out to the offensive line, playing absolutely lights out today.
Yes.
Only gave up,
Yeah.
I think, 2 sacks. He was able to have that all the time in the pocket, look at his progression, see where he wanted to go, and made the smart plays time and time again. That is what we
Yep.
have needed Taylor Heineke to do. He ran when he needed to run. On top of that, Antonio Gibson, like Kenneth said, finally having the game that he should have been having, mainly due to this coaching staff. They finally, especially that last drive, that 10-play or 19-play drive, took
19.
almost
Yep.
10 and a half minutes off the clock to keep the ball away from Tom Brady. That is what they needed to do. Brandon Scherf was back this week. We haven't had him for a few weeks. He was back. Same thing with Sam Cosmi. He was back. I don't care how much money Brandon Scherf wants. We need to keep him on this payroll. We need to keep him on this team for years to come. I don't care how much. If he wants to set the record for offensive linemen, set it. Give him his money.
Yeah. Yeah. And my biggest takeaway, and it's something that we talked about Friday, I wanted to see a game, all 3 phases game. And lo and behold, I got it.
Yeah.
You just and it's funny, Rob, and I was just so proud of this team because it's funny because these are the things that we've been talking week in and week out as far as what you should do, especially when it comes to these prolific offenses that we play. Um, like you look at, I think one of the key things was the third down efficiency. I think we did a great job defensively on them. I think they 40% on that. And I'm telling you, that 19 play drive, I was like, this is what I've been wanting this team to do since the beginning, since the Chargers on September the 12th in week 1. Like I wanted these type of situations, and then just the fact of them holding on to that lead, because we always said if they was to win this game, they would have to have a sizable lead, and it's just it's one of the things where it just feels like such a proud moment where it's like everything that we've been talking about has finally came into fruition. We always talked about there was baby steps. We seen kind of some of it kind of all coming together in previous weeks in certain instances. But now you're looking at what they did. It was really impressive. Just everybody came out to play. That so I was really ecstatic about this victory.
Yeah, watching it, just going through, especially in the first quarter, you got the 2 early interceptions off of Tom Brady. Drive down, we're only able to come away with field goals, but still, it felt like the team was moving. Obviously, was moving in the right direction. They were doing the things they needed to do. Would we have liked to punch it into the end zone on those first 2 drives? Absolutely.
Right.
But still coming away with points. Again, Taylor Heineke being methodical with where he wanted to go with the ball. Really led those drives, got us in the field goal range. We're able to take an early 6-0 lead. And I think Taylor Heineke had a touchdown pass right after that, put us up 13-0.
Yep.
And we kind of never looked. Flat, quick 3 and out.
Yeah.
Bucks turn around and quick a little bit because I was like, oh, this is the team does. We started strong against Kansas City.
Yep.
I think same thing. They look good in the first. Second half. That's where this game was kind of headed. But just Taylor Heineke being so methodical and precise, I can't enough. He played exactly how we've been needing him to play this entire time.
Big time. And like you said, and he was on the money, 26 for 32, 256 yards, and 1 touchdown. He pretty much outdueled Tom Brady. which is one of the things where we looked at. That was another kind of one of those keys to a Washington victory. In on Friday's podcast where that was one of the keys, and everything. And I was like, it's just funny, like how all this came into factor. So, Rob, how was the game won? And I think that's the obvious, but hey, some other ones as well.
And first things first, Taylor Heineke again, being methodical, being smart, taking care of the ball, not trying to force certain things. You saw him take the easy passes to the tight ends to JD against Antonio Gibson, especially the third and I want to say it was like 3rd and 9 to I forgot it wasn't obviously Ricky Seals Jones went out early in the game. No, it was a tight end.
It's your boy. John Bates.
So it gets
John Bates.
John quick. Bates. I think it was like a 4 or 5 yard throw. He was able to get upfield. Just taking those little chuck plays. He was getting those good 3-4 yard runs, and anybody who watches or studies the game of football will tell you if you stay committed, even if you're just getting those 2 to 3, 4 yard runs, eventually one of those is going to break. And he had a couple team eventually punched to pretty much to steal the game on that long drive. And our defense played fantastic. William Jackson got a pick. That pick. I still think Kendall Fuller got end zone. It came off of Goodwin's. It popped out. Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would have called PI on that but he kind of Mike Evans got his hands on him and kind of just threw him away.
The swim move.
And then tackling and the tackling game was best I've seen in a long time from this team.
Yeah. A lot of, the time of possession, and Rob, I'm telling you, we talk about this every week. We always stress, we always say at least 36 minutes. Time of possession today was 39 minutes and 8 seconds. We talk about this week in and week out. If you want to win football games, control that time of possession. They did that today. I looked at that, and obviously they scored in their first 4 possessions. And that's one thing, too, where we talk about, starting leads and establishing some scoring opportunities in the jump and just keep on going. Like, think about it, because normally it used to be 3 and outs, punts. I never thought in a million years that in our first 4 possessions we would score. We had some type of scoring in our first 4 drives, which you think that's just simply amazing. The fourth quarter, and that's the thing where, and that's why it's like I'm just so proud of this team, that fourth quarter drive, because at that time you had the Mike Evans play, and we thinking, oh goodness, like we doomed. Them missing that extra point was crucial. That helped us because that made that decision, that Antonio Gibson 4th down play happen. Because obviously, I think if it was potentially a 3-point game, they would have kind of looked at it a little bit different. Because at that point, they probably would have just tried to kick the field goal or what have you, and still have that time. But that fourth quarter 19 play drive and converting those first downs and chopping that clock down. And we didn't fall victim to the Tom Brady experience, because normally, you give Tom Brady time, he gonna cook you. But they were very smart and very methodical on that one. It was a very, very un-Washington football team-esque type of drive that we've seen this year. So proud of them. So proud with that. And you just the play of Taylor Heineke outplaying Tom Brady. that was just a situation where, hey, like we said, he had to outplay them because we knew this was going to be a shoot match, and you had to kind of you had to bring that on display. But that obviously that time possession, and then even we did great on third down conversion. I think we were like 11-19. So I'm just thinking to myself, like,
far better than our
right. So, and that's those things where it's like the little things that happened this week, those little things coming together and coming with a victory. And I'm like you said, we talk about this literally week in and week out. And finally, I felt like they listened to us. Finally, I think they really like, look, let me listen to these guys. Let's listen to these two little knuckleheads that love to watch their football team. You know what? Let's listen to them and be like, you know what? They right. you know.
And we have good ideas every now and then.
Yeah, we do. I agree. But I think, like one of those things where it's like I just look at just their play. It's just something that we've always harped on week in and week out of what they should do. When we talk about when we do the show on Fridays, the keys. If Washington wins, what they should do. And generally everything that kind of came into the play today, they took advantage of it. And I mean, I'm so proud of this team. And it's just one of those things where it's any given Sunday. And we talked about how this was somewhat of a statement game because both the teams are coming from bad weeks. So we're gonna know who team is prepared and who's not. So that's let me know like this team was prepared. This team was prepared even despite the injuries and and also the unfortunate injury of Chase Young. But they moved on, and they soldiered on and won that football game. But yeah, so we gotta give out grades, Rob. Man, this gonna be some. I think it's a good grades this week. So what's your grades, Rob? So I think we've lost Rob, but so before once Rob gets back into the frame, offense is an A plus this week. I mean, you just look at the simple fact of like we talked about a third down efficiency. They were 11 for 9. Fourth down, they were 2 for 2, and then they had 300 in total yards of offense. So you just look at from that standpoint, they get an A minus in my book. What they've done this week, yeah. And to your point, George, they were focused. Let's see, we got Rob back in. Let's see, Rob. So I gave the offense an A plus. What did you give the offense?
I'll give them a solid A.
Yeah.
I think that could have yeah. From the first play of the game, played great.
Yeah.
He knew where he wanted to go with the pass. He gave up, or he didn't try to force anything, give up easy turnovers.
Yep.
And he went with the pass. Fourth and 2, but only it was time. In him being able to run the ball away was very promising.
Yeah, most definitely. I give the defense an A plus. Once again, I'm holding Tom Brady and them to pretty much 19 points. Then just simple fact of forcing those turnovers early that set the tone for this team. I look at just from that standpoint, you look at those factors. Tom Brady, I think he threw 2 interceptions in this game. And I think he had 220 yards passing, which at going into this matchup, obviously Tampa Bay was pretty much primarily the number 1 scoring offense in this league. So to hold them to a below average 220, It's great. And then in special teams, I got to give them an A as well. Joe Sly came in and did his thing. Uh, you know, kicked a few field goals and kind of help give us them that lead first in the beginning stages of this football game where we had those first four possessions. He was responsible for three of those field goals. So I definitely have to give special teams an A this week. We don't have Chris Blewett anymore, but now we have Joe Sly. So Rob, what are your grades for the defense and special teams?
So defense, I'll give them a plus. They played much better than what I thought they were going to. I think it was either Terry Bradshaw or Howie Long said earlier today, that Tom Brady was going to have 4 touchdown passes, throw for like 350 plus. And I believed it too against this defense. I would have bet money on that. But the fact that they held Tom Brady in check, they didn't let him get off to a hot start. Gave up a couple plays. Kendall Fuller again gave up that touchdown to Mike Evans. William Jackson again gave up a wide open pass against him. But that's come to be expected. So all in all, Landon Collins played great. Again, his open field tackling is second to none in this league. The defensive line without Montez Sweat, without Chase Young for a majority of the second half of the game, played very, very well. Got good pressure on Tom Brady. So overall, I give him a B plus. And then special teams, got to give him an A plus. It's hard not to. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. Joe Sly hit every field goal and every extra point he was supposed to. Special teams didn't give them any big runs. They did exactly what they were supposed to. So I give them an A plus.
Yeah. This was a all three phases game where to me it's like everybody deserves an A. And like it's just it was such a great game on everybody's end. Everybody came together, and so rounding out the post game, Rob, who gets this week's game ball?
Again, Taylor Heineke. Like he just, I cannot say it enough. I cannot stress it enough. How happy I am with the way he played. So damn methodical. No mistakes. He threw the ball away when it needed to be thrown away. He had a couple sacks, but that's a sack a couple times a game. Knew where he wanted to go. Did not try to force anything. Did not give any bad turnovers. Our only turnover was a fumble. I think Reyes, they punched the ball out. It might have been Bates though too. They punched the ball out.
Dax.
Oh, that's right.
Dax. Yeah, it was Dax. Yeah,
yeah, it was.
Oh, I was like, bro, what are you doing?
That one hurt me. It scared me because again, like just the way this team has played, it feels like something like that before this week that would have been a killer. The team would have Tampa Bay would have gone on a run, and they would have never looked back. But that was our only turnover of the game, and this offense responded. They said, okay, we gave up the play, gave up the ball, gave up more. Now let's go do this again, and that's exactly what Taylor Heineke did.
Bruh, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Bro, when that first play happened, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna lose this football game." Like, because we've been down this road before. You think about Antonio Gibson, against the Chargers in Week 1.
Against the Chargers,
it was another one, and there's the Chargers. Bro, that's what all this stuff kind of happened to me again. I'm like, oh no, like we're gonna lose this football game, like straight up. But lo and behold, they took care of business, like you said. My game ball definitely has to go to Taylor Heineke as well. I mean, you think his numbers, like I talked about it earlier, that man was 26 for 32. Like he was efficient and he made the plays. What I liked about Taylor, and I think we talk about Taylor sometimes and somewhat not in a negative way, but it's just like you see how there's a difference when he's ahead versus when he's behind. He didn't try to make play. He made plays. He got what he played, what the defense gave him. He didn't try to do too much in this game. He knew like, okay, we got third, and what I'm doing is preserve the lead. He didn't, we know we've had instances where he's played behind and he's like, oh, he's trying to just trying to make stuff happen. I think there's a difference in this scenario where when he's not playing from behind, he's a different quarterback. And I just think that's one thing too. He was really efficient. He made key plays. I look at like especially a couple plays. I think I know he hit Adam Humphries on the third down, hit Terry on the third down. Like he just made quick, efficient throws. And I think that's one of the things where it's like and I know every situation isn't always going to be that way where he's going to have a lead or he's going to have a type of situation. But in that scenario, he did a great job. And he was a guy that now we know he's going to be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. Obviously, the news came down today about Ryan Fitzpatrick that's going to be out for the year. So at this point now, Taylor knows, hey, Ryan's not coming back, and we definitely don't hope that your boy, because at first a lot of people were saying, hey, your boy gonna come in, QB2 is gonna come in, and
God, I hope not. I don't care how bad Taylor Heineke plays. I don't want him in the game.
Right. But yeah, man. But but this is like we're saying, this is a great victory. But now we're on to Carolina. A game I kind of circled on my calendar. As far as Ron Rivera going back to Carolina. So, Curtis Samuel and a host of former Carolina Panthers will be in homecoming as well. And then we got another homecoming in a sense, Cam Newton. So that'd be Cam Newton's first start back. So next week is definitely going to be interesting as far as for the show on Friday night, how we'll break down that matchup. But definitely to Will's point where, I loved how they 8 minutes in the fourth. And that's how you beat Brady. It's textbook. And it's like you think, and it's funny, like, that's one of the things where it's like, that's how you beat them. I mean, what we did, and people thought. Yep. Yeah, it was such a great win, but definitely huge shout out franchise QB.
No, I would not go that far. I would not go that far.
Not quite.
He could be a franchise backup.
Yeah, and I don't mind him being a backup. Like we talked about this all often. Where I think he'll be fine, like in spot duty, like because really that's what really he is. Because you think about it, if you have a situation where your quarterback goes down, but unfortunately our quarterback at the tender age of 38 had a hip injury, so you're hoping if you had a situation like if you had a guy that maybe had a significant injury and maybe missing a few weeks of time, then you'll feel confident in those maybe 3 or 4 game stretch that your quarterback is out. But franchise like he's a solid. I would like him as a backup. I think he'll probably be one of the most popular backups on our team at this point. But I definitely think he'll be. Yeah, but so let's put a bow on this week's Washington Football Guys some podcast. So Rob, tell them social media and any upcoming projects and what you got.
I'm on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram. Nothing big coming up in the near future, but obviously we got our show next Friday, which I'm excited for now. A whole different outlook going into this Carolina game. Definitely excited for it now.
And the tide has turned. This is another, most definitely. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. We got Overreaction Monday tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna talk about Washington football stuff on that tomorrow night for sure. And then also Couch Coach Live on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also we'll be back here on Friday for the Washington Football Guys podcast, previewing the matchup of Ron's Revenge against the Carolina Panthers. Like you said, I'm definitely looking forward to this game. This is another one where I think, I think it could be potentially a game where it could be the swing of the balance because you look at now what Carolina's doing in Arizona. If the lead sticks, they're back in the thick of it. So this is another test for us, and hey, Ron's coming back home. So we're gonna see what's going on with that, and definitely looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday. So this has been this week's Washington Football Guys post game show. We won a game. We won.
Post game after a win, after a good win.
We won.
This wasn't a post game after beating the Giants or the garbage Falcons. This is a good win.
This is the Super Bowl champion. And you know what's funny, Rob? I actually watched the game yesterday, the repeat of the wild card game, and it really left me a sore taste. I'm not be real yet. At first, I was getting encouraged, but I was like, God, it was so many missed opportunities. And then to come in this matchup, even though it's not a wild card game, but still, it's crazy. But yeah, man. So yeah, we here. Great win, and we will catch you guys on Friday. This has been this week's post-game show. Definitely appreciate Kenneth for stopping by. Also, definitely huge shout out. Appreciate George and Will for chiming in on this week's post-game show, and we'll catch you guys on Friday. We out.